And welcome back to the second part of the live stream sessions that I'm hosting. The one I hope you got a chance to look at the first drawing of the semi-realistic eyes. And in this one, we're going to carry on the shade tutorial so you get to see more of how to work out the shading for a portrait. So let's go ahead and open up Paintology. From the home screen, you will find the tutorial under the tutorial section on the pencil drawing area, but I would recommend that you uh, download a portrait that interests you and use that for shading. So in this case, what I've done is I have actually downloaded a picture that I want to show you that for doing a portrait drawing. So go to draw and then select trace mode. And then here you'll see this famous picture of Brad Pitt. And I'm going to turn this into a black and white grayscale here, as you can see from the brush. And then here it is in grayscale. So before we dive into the shading, and as you know, we will just clear the previous palette. Okay, and then we will use the shade brush at 100, set to 100%. So I want to show you the darks and gray tones. You probably hear about this subject of tones, creating tones and shading to get the right tones. So just remember that I'm not using any fancy digital tools to make this drawing. I'm just simply going to use, let me move this ahead, sorry. Actually, let's keep it on the right side. Sorry about that. But you see that I'm going to only use the shade brush. That's it. And you will see how I go about creating this drawing. So I'm guessing the time I spend with you guys, it'll take me over an hour. The last session was 1.5 hours. So I hope you can draw along with me and follow to the instructions I'm giving you. So remember, there is no straightforward path to drawing. This is just a method and approach that I have developed over some time having made this drawing. And also, you also, just to let you know, the Paintology app has also been developed by me as well. So here we go. And first of all, we've got the trace mode here, and I'm going to show you some important areas of the dark and dark images, and so you need to appreciate what the dark and the light tones are. So here, if you look at that drawing carefully, you'll immediately see that the dark tones around their hair section here, and then here, and here, and then here, and there's another section here, okay? And when I looked at the tones, I noticed that there is this very light tone of the shirt, but we're more interested in the face. So let's take a look at that. See here, you can see this part lot quite lighter as well as the ears. So there is more light coming from the right hand side, and then the nose here, and then this part you can see fairly dark. But notice the ears are still quite evident. So now you have to deal with this. And then under the chin, there is this area that is darker, and this is a light area. You can see, and there's The details are, if we zoom in, are this very dark here in the nostrils, dark regions here in around the eyes, and then we have this typical mark you can see, which is next to the nostrils here, nose, and so that's really it. And when we want to do these details of the nose and eyes, you'll see that I'm zooming in quite a lot. So let's clear the areas that I've marked and resume the drawing. I think I'll just discard that and then go back to draw, open it up again, and start the drawing. So the way I usually draw is I am going to lay down, I can either draw the outline or lay down the colors rapidly, the tones, using the color picker, and that's what I'll do. So I'll make this about 6-7%. Let's see what kind of mark it produces. That's all right, but I think I can increase that more. I think I can increase it a little bit more. So let me try 25%, and let's see what that looks like. Okay, it's not bad. Let's head for something bigger, okay? So here, this is how I pick out the tones. I know most of the hair is black, so I'm going to go to the color picker and go to the blackest part, and you can see that the grayscale has moved to the right here. So let's just put the colors down, keeping it at just above the midpoint. Very quickly, nothing. I could have done the outline like I did previously, but thought this might be better. Well, not better, but a different approach, just to check it out. So that's one of the tips I want to give you, is that don't be afraid to experiment, okay? Just, that's what makes you a good artist. So now let's go to that region where we saw before. Pick a color there, and then, so let's click on that to see what the palette looks like. That's fine, you're not too worried about that. And then let's down the here, the mid forehead, and then the right side here is lighter. So we're just laying down the overall tones, and then the tones here. So it's quite dark, and then the tones here. You notice here the tones here is a little darker, and then tones here around the bottom of the eye here. Just lay down the foundation as you would in typical drawing. Okay, I'm going very rapidly, and notice I'm not doing any features or any cool drawing yet. It's not going to be a cool drawing just right away. Okay, just keep going. Don't worry what the image is going to look like. It's just laying down the foundation. Okay, so let's zoom out. Check what we have here. That's fine, perfectly fine. Nothing to worry about here. That is a new type of approach that I'm using. And now let's try and reduce that brush to half the size, right? Just less than half, and then see if we can keep on developing these tones. So I think it would mean 7%. and just simply just build up these tones, okay? Right, it's almost like outlining. Oops. So you can see here, I'm building up these tones here. So you can see it's quite a different approach to what I did yesterday. So I'm going to keep showing you these different methods because I want everyone to be able to draw and prove them that it's wrong, that it requires a born skill of some kind that anyone can draw. Okay, so I'll just carry on very rapidly. Notice I'm using a stylus, but I'll show you a drawing where I used this, made the same drawing with my fingers at the end. So I was hoping you could remind me, but I don't think you can unless you're on the chat. Okay, let's see what we have here. All right, that's fine, perfectly fine. And now I'm still steering away from the eyes and the lips. So just going around, because it's a smaller brush, I can add more detail. Actually, I'm also working on a photorealistic version of this on my other tablet. So this is a phone, as you can imagine, but on my other tablet, the S6 Samsung tablet, I've started on photorealistic drawing. So I will be posting that as a video on 4 or 5 steps to making a photorealistic drawing, and that in fact is using the freehand approach. So I only do the outline in the trace, and after that I rely on my eyes to pick out the colors. And my daughter yesterday got frustrated and said, how do you actually transfer those colors to your drawing? It was quite interesting because she obviously wants to know, and I told her I'm going to show you later on. So you can see I'm just going. So notice, I'm more attracted by the darker colors. So I'm working my way down from the darker colors. So this is like tracing at a very high speed. Okay, it's actually the reason I chose to use this method was because I did a finger drawing yesterday, and I found that this approach I could use with the stylus, and it would be all right as well. So let's see what we have. Okay, that's good, isn't it? That's fine. So we're almost there. We've done the main and this one, the main drawing that we're interested in. And see, I just pick up the thing. There's a very light, because there's light on the right side. And notice I'm just going back and forth, clicking on the left button of the trace, which takes me to the midpoint, so I don't have to keep sliding it. So you can rotate it as well. Don't worry about picking the exact colors. So notice how the color picker works as well. This is a new feature of the app, is that you select the color picker and it automatically assumes the color that it's on, so you don't have to unpick the color picker again, and it will just carry on drawing with that selection. So this is actually used quite nicely in a type of drawing that I call block coloring, which is something else I will show you in a live stream. Very, very fun way to draw and learn, because remember, forget people who say that you need to, oh, tracing is cheating. Well, that to me is like someone who's thinking that everything has to be done from imagination. The greatest painters on our planet have used all kinds of methods to improve their initial drawing skills. And if you think that, just a tracing is a form of cheating, you got it completely wrong. Tracing helps you to appreciate the tones. What I'm doing right now is helping you to understand the different tones that are appearing in the image. And as you keep doing it, it will become natural to you. Okay, let's see where we are. All right, not bad. So now I think I can head for the eyes. So now that I've got the eyes here, I want to make a little bit more detail. So I'm going to take it down quite a bit, the percentage, maybe like 2.3. Okay, it doesn't have to be exact. And then let's just focus on the eyes. Yep, that's that. The nib works fine. So remember, if you this shade brush is a bit like a pencil. You can keep going over it, and it will just keep building up the tones. So the more you go over it, it's not like an ink pen where you have one kind of tone. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, you can always, this is what I use when I'm going to fill in the details. I switch back and forth like this, or I could go all the way here, which is the original image, and switch back to my canvas just by clicking this button. It's so useful, so I can see the actual drawing, and then I can see the tones that's required here around the eyes. Notice there's a white tone. So remember, you have to be on the reference image to select the white tone. Okay, and then, so because of the bigger brush, I'm able to do this, yeah? All right, let's go back. Okay, that's fine. And then let's go and do the other eyes. So again, I'm going to take it down 2% or thereabouts. So here, let's go to midpoint so I can see my drawing and the one on the reference image. Okay, just be very quick. You're not creating ink drawing or any kind. You're just laying down shades. Okay, let's see what it looks like. So you can see there's that shade that I want to get. Okay. And I'm not worried about getting it perfect. Oops. Then here, just get this color down. All right, let's head back. Yep, so looking good. So now let's tackle the nose section here. So here, so pick a lower brush because you want more detail. Midpoint, let's go midpoint. Okay, and let's lay down. This is where the outline is handy, so you know roughly where the position of the nose is relative to the face. So now we can select the colors and then select the size. That is about the size of that region, and just simply draw. Okay, and then here on the same thing here. And then here maybe. Okay, and then here. Then here. Then this lighter region, although it looks lighter, it's actually not exactly white. this. So let's see what we have here. It's kind of beginning to look like we're adding some stuff there, and it's coming into life somewhat. Now we're gonna position our zoom in for the nose. Sorry, the lips as well. Okay, so let's see, the percentage 2.6. So we're going to select the lips. So, but use this lower to make the whole lips from the left to the right. So that's a good reference for you to work with. And let me just select, go to midpoint. So this is going to be an important reference for the drawing here, the dark here, and then here, and then the bottom of the lips here. Okay, so now we have that. We can now select the smaller regions, just to maybe increase that. So look at the drawing as you switch back and forth, and just be quick about it, because this is how you appreciate tones, that what you see is going to be added exactly to the drawing. And then here you can see a dark region. So let's not put that down. And then here's a light reach, darker, less. Oops. And then another region here. Let's put that down. Then a lighter region here, which just surrounds that area. Then remember, this goes that way, so to form the part of the lip, and then darker region here, So let's take a look and see what it looks. Yes, it's almost, he's almost looking like a girl right now, but we can change all that. So now let's get really into the details, and I won't be doing much talking, and then I will just refine this, and then you can see for yourself how this whole thing comes about, whole drawing. Notice, see the tones as you get closer. You'll see the different variations in the tones, and that's what really makes your drawings pop out when you do these smaller tones. You can see how this method of drawing gives you a real appreciation of the tones that are on the face. And then you don't have to believe me, but the final drawing will tell you that the importance of tones. So I'm just picking out the various tones and just applying it, going all the way around the face. See around the eyes there's, I don't know if it got it at 5% brush size. So don't worry about how it's looking. You're building it up. You're just continuously building the picture up. This is where digital artists use layers because they don't understand this method of drawing, which is pretty normal for traditional artists. So we're going to dive in the beard particularly for the details, but right now I'm just filling in all the areas that needs to be filled in, yeah? Also, I'll show you how to create the textures without jumping to another new brush. Just the line brush is good enough. People think to create textures you need different types of brushes. I have created textures with one brush, the line brush or a shade brush. You don't need all these different brushes. They're probably good for creating patterns. That's what you're looking for. For drawing, I would suggest stick to one brush, like I'm doing here. There. Okay, so we work out the details once we've laid down the full colors, and you can see that I'm creating somewhat of a texture with the smaller brush, isn't it? It doesn't look flat, does it? It looks like it's fairly dynamic. Let's take a look at it and see what, yeah, now you can see how it's changed quite a bit, significantly, right? Just by going over it. Also make sure you save it in case, power interruption, you never know, right? And then all the hard work you put in there. But if you draw with Paintology, you'll be learning a lot, drawing much faster than you did with your pencil, and doing a lot more different things with it, like I do. Okay, let's get that. Now you can see areas that you should start picking out and going and refining it. Let's see the ears. I haven't noticed the ears. I haven't done anything with that. And then I'll come to it, and then I'll just do it, and go the smaller brush. But right now I'm just filling in the void, the hook, where I have my brush hasn't touched. Although you can see that the previous foundation, if I go over it like this, created some kind of a texture, right? And I'll show you more details how to go into creating those textures. And then it's actually quite important when you want to do photorealistic drawing like I do. See that one? That's like, oops, I think I got the forehead wrong here. So I'm going to go to the mid position and go to the lower, and then get this little point here which is pronounced just right, yeah? See how I use the tools effectively for my drawing. The tools supplement my drawing. I'm not using the tool just for the tool's sake. It supplements what I want to do. Most people are slave to the tools. Me, and the tools are a slave to what I want. Okay, there's another mark that I want to clearly refine. I'm going to go down a bit. other side, yeah, either side around the nose. See what we have here. Yeah, it's coming together. Looking more like a man rather than a girl, I think. So now I can start working on the left and the right ear, which is, you can see, clearly not done. So let's really go in detail. And let's look at it first. Yeah, notice what we have to do. We need to pick out the white tones. They look, here is where your eyes can be deceptive. They actually look light. That's only because it's adjacent to a darker color. But in reality, if I were to color pick this area, look where it is. It's fairly dark. You'd think it was somewhere here, wouldn't you? Yeah, this is where it's deceptive. And this is where the color picker helps. Look how close to the dark region it is. And of course we have the dark region here. You can see it. And then the lighter region is here. And if you use your eyes, you'd probably set it to around here, right? If you didn't have the color picker. So this is where a lot of people talk about this subject. Let's go and pick out this light tone. Well, light, I mean, it's really dark, isn't it? But let's put it midway. Let's just lay that down. And then let's just go around the black so we can pronounce it, make that. Let's see what it looks like. Yep, getting that. And then pick out this. Pick out this. Remember, this is a exercise in shading. So in shading, you're going to learn as much as you can what shading is all about. Okay, we probably didn't pick the right color. Okay, so remember this one. Yeah. You see how I had to move it here in order to see this is also an indication of the latitude in the light and the dark that I was talking about. Okay, so we have this region. We have this region. Let's just fill it up, and then you can see where you need to this black region, and go back, then just work on that. Okay, we're almost done here. All right, let's see what the left is left. Oh, not bad, yeah. So yeah, we put the ears nicely together. There may be a slight white tint there, so let's carry that over into that, right? And then here we have this bit here. Okay, let's do the right ears now. Okay, got that shading done. I'll just use my canvas so I can see where I'm doing that. So you see I'm going over more that region so that I can get more of a darker tone. Now the lighter tone there. Keep checking. Yep. And this you'd probably go with the bottom earlobe, but I'm actually going to do the background here. So I've got it dark here, and then I'm just going to do the background, and you'll see how that works. See, that brings out, and then lower that, and then I could, okay, and then you have these very light. Let's see what it looks like now. Okay, let's see what the left is. Oh yeah, not too bad, yeah. So we're getting there, and let me do this a bit. And here you can see, I think his face has extruded. We haven't got refined that, so you can see the black. So you can see right away. I'm going to tackle that black around here. Okay, and then there's a black here. Okay, and then his actual chin starts here. Because notice I'm not doing it in one go. Let's see if we've solved that. But before we do that, let's refine that edge. This is going to be easy to do there. Remember, look at my setting on that. I'm going to even lower it to get the sharpness. Okay. So let's see what it looks like. Ah, much better now. Yeah. So let's save it. Notice I'm looking at not the whole drawing, but the smaller details, and just continuing to work and improve the drawing. I'm not worried about the result yet because I know it will be a good drawing once I'm done. You know, relatively a happy drawing that I will be happy with. So here you can see the you can see that drawing. I'm trying to refine this edge here, you can see here. So to do that, there's quite a bit of white. If I'm going to carry this white just to provide the edge so I don't get totally lost as to how far I have to extend to the perimeter. All right, again, see how I'm adding texture? That's all you need to add texture, because if you look at the resolution of the actual drawing. You'll see that as you get further away, you can still make out what that drawing is. That's how the eye works. So now I can see clear difference. I'm not focused on the complete face yet, so I'm gonna actually refine that chin. That's what I've been working on. So you can see there, very, very bold, bearded, short beard that's coming out. So let me lower this more. You'll find that as you go lower in size of the brush, you actually have a higher degree of control on the darkness and tones. The tones actually become darker. Okay, so let's see. Let's do that. Let's just produce these textures on the beard. No, not following anything, just doing it like this. And then we're gonna go here, pick out, increase the size a bit, and then just fill, give the appearance of that, his chin. Yeah. Okay. See how dark it is against the white. So you really need to go down, create that texture, faint texture. There's another way of doing this as well, which is using this hardness setting, but that's in another session I'll show you, because that's adds complexity to a little bit of complexity to the drawing. You can see here, yeah. So while we still have a lower brush size, we can still work on finding that edge. So the beards are a little bit more pronounced. It's actually quite dense, and it's very easy to make out. Okay, let's go here. See that chin. Now you can see how the chin is protruding, which is what you wanted. Now it's clearly defined away from its neck. And now I'm following that chin all the way to the right here. Let's refine this edge. Yeah, you can see here quite dark, and we're still at a lower size, which is perfect. Just laying down the dark tones. And then we could just as well use our understanding of the tones instead of using the color picker. Yeah, could do that as well. Okay. Okay, let's see where we are. Not bad. Okay, as you can see, there is some work to be done around the lips. So let's zoom in. And let's just switch back and forth what the lips look like. and what I need to do to reproduce it. So we're at a pretty small brush size, which is okay, and I can see that the beard has and the mustache has pronounced, and it's got textures which we need to create. So let's keep it at that size, and then let's just use our own tones to create that. So I'm actually going to reduce it even more. Right, so go back and forth and then use the scale. Right, this is how we're going to do it, yeah? Go back and forth. So it gives the impression of the mustache. And then if there is a color that you want, don't be afraid to select it. Okay, we haven't even done any of the nose section, but let's just fix this, the lips. Okay. See how I create texture here? You can see in that region I created a texture. When you zoom out, you'll see the difference. So it's in a dark all the way to the right side, as you can see. So you have to be careful. You don't want to overdo it, so that we can crease that, because that. Okay, so this is a tone that's sort of around here, and then we can continue building up the mustache. Textures, that's all it is, textures. Creating textures, giving the illusion. So let's just fix this lips, and we could move on to the nose. Let's save it. Okay, see how notice the color, how it moves. Just creating textures, not doing exactly to the detail. You'll see it makes a lot of difference. Alright, let's see how it looks. So much better now, isn't it? So you can see now it can be improved a lot, and we'll go do that as a final pass. But now let's work on the nose. So this you could consider to be a semi-realistic portrait drawing, but you could turn that into photorealistic if you continue the path that I'm going and just continue to add the details with the same brush. So you can see there's quite a definition here, and it's almost to the right side. Okay. So you're probably thinking, how am I going to do the rest? So again, it's all by eye. So I'm going to increase the size a little bit. Do this region here under just below the nostrils. Just keep working at it. Don't be afraid. Reduce the tone by going lower if you need to. Just see that here? You'll see that I need to take that down more and define that edge here, this edge. So I'm going to go here because the shape of the nose is really important. So now you can see what I've done, yeah? Very important. You use that's the advantage of using the brush size, changing the brush size accordingly. So now we can just blend this out, as you can see. Okay. Now I can do that part of the okay. Follow the textures of the direction the nose. Sometimes you can tell where these lines are coming from, and then just follow the strokes. All right, so you may think that this is white, but it's not. So let's pick that. Okay. Okay, so getting that. I hope you're keeping up with me on this. Let's see what that looks like. You see how it's taking shape? It almost looks 3D, isn't it? that's the beauty of shading. If you know how to do shading, you're pretty much on your way to do photorealism, which is what a lot of people enjoy. So let's take that down a bit because I want to do the right side of the nose. Actually, it's like that, and a bit darker. That's it. That's it. Then now I've gone back to using, as you can see, I've gone back to using the grayscale rather than the color picker. So that is what you learn. You keep doing this, you will start getting a good understanding of what these tones you need to use, and that is what's going to make you do freestyle drawing much more easily. Okay, so remember here, this part, I remember this was an area that was a little bit flummoxed when I was doing the realistic drawing. Hopefully it'll be done in a couple of days. Let's see if there is that small white region. No, there is not. So make sure you don't put that in there. In the photorealistic drawing, you'll find that I have several ways of blending, and it might be worthwhile for you to look at that. If you're in the digital tools, you obviously turn to the tools for that, and there are two ways of looking at this. You can turn to those digital tools, but you will always be dependent on those digital tools. But whereas I have much more degree of control doing it manually, high degree of control, especially when you can zoom in, like Paintology allows you to zoom in. All right, let's look at that. Yep, it's coming out very nicely. So there would be probably another pass of this. So I'm going to stop this session and then continue on another second live stream of this drawing, and you'll be able to watch that. And I hope to do it soon, today or tomorrow. You can shoot a comment and let me know when you guys want me to do this, or you could just wait for the live stream to go live. But then you can probably want to chat with me on creating this drawing. So as you can see, this is on a Samsung Note, and I'm using a stylus, and it's already looking not bad, and it obviously needs refining around the left side of the face, the beard, more of the beard and everything, and it will look pretty decent, I think. And I think it will become semi-realistic, if not photorealistic. All right then, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time we finish this drawing. Thank you.